हेलो बच्चों, कैसे हैं आप सभी। आई होप आप सभी बहुत अच्छे से होंगे, खूब मन लगाकर पढ़ाई कर रहे होंगे। क्लास की शुरुआत करते हैं। चैप्टर है हमारा कंपनीज राइज टू पावर, ट्रेड टू टेरिटरी। प्रील्यूड। हाइलाइट्स ऑफ द चैप्टर। द राइवलरी बिटवीन द यूरोपियन trading companies, the events that transformed the British into a political power, the significance of the battles of Plassey and Buxar, British policies of annexation, the role of Governor Generals in the expansion of the British power. अब आते हैं स्नीक पीक पर। ब्रिटिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी, जिसमें आता है एज अ ट्रेडिंग कंपनी, जिसके अंडर है बैटल्स फॉट, आउटकम, एंग्लो कार्नेटिक वॉर्स 1, 2, 3, बैटल ऑफ प्लासी, बैटल ऑफ बक्सर। इसके बाद है आउटकम इसी का, जिसमें है आउटस्टेटेड फ्रेंच, ट्रेड मोनोपोली ऑफ ब्रिटिश, राइट ऑफ रेवेन्यू कलेक्शन, ग्रेन्स, पॉलिटिकल पावर, दीवानी इन बंगाल, बिहार, उड़ीसा। इसके बाद आते हैं एज अ पॉलिटिकल कंपनी, जिसके अंदर आता है पहले पॉलिसीज, उसके अंदर है सब्सिडियरी अलायंस, डॉक्ट्राइन ऑफ लैप्स, पैरामाउंट्री, और फिर इसी के अंदर है बैटल्स फॉर्ट और आउटकम। बैटल फॉर्ट में है एंग्लो मराठा वॉर 1, 2, 3, एंग्लो गुराखा वॉर, एंग्लो सिख वॉर। आउटकम में आता है एनेक्सेशन ऑफ पंजाब, सिंध, अवध एंड मैसूर, ब्रिटिश कंट्रोल ओवर नेपाल एंड बर्मा, फेलर ऑफ मराठास, डिक्लाइन ऑफ मराठास, मेनी स्टेट्स एनेक्स्ड थ्रू सब्सिडियरी अलायंस। The discovery of the sea route to India by Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer, opened a new possibilities and opportunities for trade in India. Spices, sugar, indigo and textiles were major items of export. As trade in India proved to be a profitable venture, many European countries started establishing trade links with India. बच्चों, जो डिस्कवरी थी सी के अंदर जो रूट है उसको किया था इंडिया में वास्को डी गामा में, जो कि एक पोर्तुगीज एक्सप्लोरर था। उसने एक नई पॉसिबिलिटीज़, एक नई अपॉर्चुनिटी इंडिया की ट्रेड में लाया था, जिसमें स्पाइसेस, शुगर, इंडिगो, टेक्सटाइल्स और भी बहुत सारे मेजर आइटम्स को एक्सपोर्ट किया जाता था। द एम्स ऑफ सच mercantile companies which emerged from Portugal, the Netherlands, Great Britain and France were to exchange competition as well as buy cheap goods and sell them in their country as well as others at the highest possible price. This led to rivalries amongst these trading countries, eventually leading to bitter trade wars. बच्चों, ये लोग क्या करते थे, बाहर देश से आते थे, जो पोर्तुगल हो गए, नीदरलैंड्स हो गए या ग्रेट ब्रिटेन या फ्रांस के लोग हो गए, ये क्या करते थे, ये बाहर से आते थे और इंडिया में जो स्पाइसेस होते थे या जो चीज़ें होती थी, चाहे वो इंडिगो हो गया, टेक्सटाइल हो गया, शुगर हो गया, इनको कम दाम में, चीप दाम में खरीद कर अपने देश में जाकर के महंगे प्राइसेस में बेच देते थे और इनसे इनको काफ़ी फ़ायदा होता था। लेकिन ऐसा देखते हुए सभी के बीच में एक राइवलरी आ गई, इन सभी देशों के बीच में एक दुश्मनी सी आ गई। यूरोपियन ट्रेडिंग कंपनीज इन इंडिया। The 18th century was an era when several notable European powers struggled to achieve superiority in India. 18th century वो एक ऐसा era था जब सभी नोटेबल जो यूरोपियन थे वो स्ट्रगल करने लगे ताकि वो सुपेरियोरिटी ला सके, पावर ला सके इंडिया में। By the end of the 17th century, European countries, the Dutch, the French and the British had established their settlements in different parts of India. The English East India Company was established in the year 1600. बच्चों, जो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी थी यानी इंग्लिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी थी वो स्टैब्लिश हुई थी साल 1600 में। The Dutch established the Dutch East India Company in India in 1602. The main purpose of this company was to have lucrative trade in spices in India and the East. They established their business centers in India at चिनसुरा, सूरत, पटना, कोचिन एंड नागापट्टनम। इन सभी राज्यों में डच ने अपना जो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी है वो 1602 में स्टार्ट किया था बिजनेस करना। द पोर्तुगीज obtained permission from King Jamrun of Calicut and established their factories at Calicut, Cochin, Kannauр, etc. During those days, the Arabs had monopolized trade, but the Portuguese took Basin, Calicut and Daman in their possession and established their colonies at Hooghly and Chittagong. The French East India Company was established in 1664. The Queen of England, Elizabeth 1861 granted the company the exclusive right to trade with the East. The English East India Company set up its first factory on the banks of the river Hooghly in 1651. बच्चों, जो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी है उसने हुगली रिवर के किनारे पर 1651 में ये ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी की शुरुआत की थी. By 1696 the company began building a fort for around the Hooghly settlement. English East India Company wanted to earn maximum profit. This required that the company got Indian raw materials like cotton and silk and spices like pepper, cloves, cardamom and cinnamon at low rates and sold them at high prices in Europe. बच्चों, इसमें क्या हुआ था? 1696 में कंपनी ने बिल्डिंग फोर्ट पर बनाना शुरू किया था हुगली सेटलमेंट में. इंग्लिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी चाहती थी कि वो मैक्सिमम प्रॉफिट जो है वो अर्न कर सके. बैटल फॉर ट्रेड. However, as the other European companies also wanted to increase their profit and intense competition amongst the European companies started in India. बच्चों, हालांकि जो यूरोपियन कंपनीज थी वो भी इंक्रीज करना चाहती थी, वो भी चाहती थी कि वो अपने प्रॉफिट को और ज़्यादा बढ़ा सके. यूरोपियन कंपनीज के बीच में इंडिया में अपनी कंपनीज की भी शुरुआत कर सके. A fierce competition of monopoly over the Indian trade pushed up the prices of Indian goods and in return reduces the profits of the English East India Company. Through the 17th and 18th century, it was realized that to flourish, the trading companies has to devise a new strategy of eliminating rival competitors. Rivalry increased amongst the European companies as they regularly sank and blocked each other's ships from moving with supplies of goods. Trade was carried on with arms. Trading posts were protected through fortification. The English East India Company got Madras from a local ruler. They established a trading forties settlement called Fort Stephen George. Similarly, they established Fort William in Calcutta. The second English settlement, the British uprooted the Dutch from India in 1759. 1759 में ब्रिटिश ने डच इंडिया में रूट किया था. The French established settlements at Pondicherry, Mahe, Chandigarh and Karaikal. Research junction. Could the other European powers have united against the British and saved their colonies in India? How? इसकी प्रैक्टिस खुद से कीजिएगा बच्चों. नॉलेज जंक्शन पर आते हैं. After Christopher Columbus' historical discovery of America, many European nations reached there to increase their wealth. The Spanish people were among the first to explore the United States of America. बच्चों, क्रिस्टोफर कॉलम्बस जो कि एक हिस्ट्री डिस्कवरी थे अमेरिका के, उसके बाद में कई सारे यूरोपियन नेशंस ने भी रीच करना शुरू कर दिया ताकि वो अपने वेल्थ को इंक्रीज कर सके. ग्रैस्प एंड गेन. History is full of examples of brave Indian kings who resisted the British occupation of their country. Try and find names of the 3 such Indian kings. इसकी प्रैक्टिस खुद से कीजिएगा. आते हैं British rivalry with French trading companies पर. In 18th century India, the British and the French also becomes rivals as their trade interests clashed in South India around the same time between 1744 and 1763. The British and the French were at war in Europe. These factors led to 3 major wars between the British and the French in India. Commercial and maritime rivalry was the primary reason behind these wars. Carnatic Wars. The first Carnatic War, 1744 to 1748, happened when J.F. Dupleix, the French governor of Pondicherry, captured the British settlement, Madras. However, the French were defeated in the first Carnatic War. With their defeat in the war, the French resorted Madras to the ब्रिटिश. फ्रेंच हार गई थी और उन्होंने फिर से मद्रास रिस्टोर करके ब्रिटिश को दे दिया था. एंग्लो फ्रेंच rivalry became worse leading to the second Carnatic War 1748 to 1754 when the two powers got involved in the local politics of Hyderabad and the Carnatic on opposite sides. The Carnatic was a province under the Nizam of Hyderabad. Arcot was its capital. However, the Nawab of Arcot controlled the province almost as an independent state. Therefore, the death of the Nawab of Arcot and of the Nizam a few years later led to wars of succession in the Carnatic and in Hyderabad. The Anglo-French took opposite sides in these wars. The British and the French installed their candidates on the thrones of Arcot and Hyderabad respectively. The outbreak of 7 Years' War between the French and the British in Europe intensified the rivalry between the two European powers in India. As a result, the Third Carnatic War 1756 to 1763 was fought in India. Third World War जो है इंडिया में लड़ी गई थी 1756 से 1763 के बीच में. The rise of British power power in Bengal and Hyderabad enabled the British to use their resources to easily defeat the French at Vandivash in 1760. On the other hand, the Carnatic Wars in India made the French lose all their Indian possessions. In 1763, the Treaty of Paris was signed between Britain and France in Europe. This treaty ended the 7 years war between the two countries. It restored to the French their possessions in India on the condition that could not fortify their Indian settlements. French dominance ended in India with the end of Carnatic Wars and the French ceased to be a political force in India. French dominance end किया गया इंडिया में Carnatic Wars के end में. Rivalry with the Nawabs of Bengal. In 1717, the Mughal Emperor granted the English East India Company the right to carry out duty-free trade in बंगाल, बिहार एंड उड़ीसा. बच्चों 1717 में मुगल एम्पायर ने ग्रांट किया इंग्लिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी को ये राइट कि वो आसानी से बंगाल, बिहार और उड़ीसा से कैरी कर सकती है ड्यूटी फ्री ट्रेड को. द एम्प्लॉयज ऑफ द company were entitled to both private trade as well as duty free trade. It meant that the company could export and import goods from and to Bengal without paying any taxes to the government. बिना गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स पे किए बिना ही इंपोर्ट को एक्सपोर्ट और इंपोर्ट कर सकते हैं गुड्स को. ये मुगल्स ने कहा था. कंपनी ऑफिशियल्स इज ऑल्सो हैड the power to issue passes or data tasks for the free movement of their goods. Bengal was the richest and the most fertile province in India at that time. The Nawabs of Bengal wanted the English East India Company to pay tax on trade as done by the Indian traders, but the British refused to do so. बच्चों बंगाल जो था वो मोस्ट फर्टाइल माना जाता था, काफ़ी रिचेस्ट माना जाता था फर्टाइल में इंडिया में. तो नवाब्स जो थे वो बंगाल के वो चाहते थे कि ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी जो है वो ट्रेड के पैसों को दे इंडियन ट्रेडर्स को, बट ब्रिटिश ने ऐसा करने से मना कर दिया था. द एम्प्लॉयज ऑफ द कंपनी ऑल्सो कैरिड ऑन देयर प्राइवेट ट्रेड्स व्हेन दे रिफ्यूज टू पे ड्यूटी और टैक्स. इट एंगर्ड द नवाब ऑफ बंगाल मुर्शीद कुली खान. By the early 18th century, the conflict between the companies and the Nawabs of Bengal intensified. बच्चों 18th century के स्टार्टिंग में ही जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट था नवाब के बीच में और जो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी है उनके बीच में वो इंटेंसिफाई होने लगा. द नवाब्स ऑफ बंगाल रिफ्यूज टू ग्रांट द कंपनी कंसेशंस, डिमांडेड large tributes for the company's right to trade, denied it any right to mint coins and stopped it from extending its fortification. The Battle of Plassey and of Siraj-ud-Dowlah. Murshid Quli Khan was succeeded by Ali Wardi Khan and Ali Wardi Khan by Siraj-ud-Dowlah. When Siraj-ud-Dowlah became the new Nawab in 1756, he ordered the British to pay tax. जब सिराज-उद-दौला जब नवाब बने 1756 में तो उन्होंने ब्रिटिश को आदेश दिया कि वो टैक्स को पे करना शुरू करें. He also told the British to remove fortification of their Calcutta factory. However, negotiations failed and the Nawab attacked the English factory at Qasim Bazar, captured the company officials and established his control over the company's fort. जब ये नेगोशिएशन फेल हो गया तो नवाब ने क्या किया कि इंग्लिश फैक्ट्री जो कि कासिम बाजार में थी उस पर अटैक कर लिया और उस फैक्ट्री को अपने कब्जे में कर लिया. सिराज-उद-दौला ड्रॉप द इंग्लिश आउट ऑफ कैलकाटा फॉर एक्सपेंडिंग फोर्टिफिकेशंस एंड नॉट पेइंग ट्रेड ड्यूटीज. बट द ब्रिटिश सेंट फ्रॉम मद्रास देयर मोस्ट ट्रस्टेड ऑफिसर रॉबर्ट क्लाइव टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम इन बंगाल. बंगाल में अपने प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए जो ब्रिटिशर्स थे उन्होंने मद्रास से एक ऑफिसर को भेजा जिनका नाम था रॉबर्ट क्लाइव. रॉबर्ट क्लाइव डिसाइडेड to overthrow Siraj-ud-Dowlah as he also began to favor the French. He plotted with Mir Zafar, commander-in-chief of Bengal, attacked Siraj and won back Calcutta. He also got back the right to fortification. This was the Battle of Plassey. In the battle, Siraj was defeated and killed. इस battle में सिराज defeat किया गया और मारा गया. Consequences of the Battle of Plassey. The Battle of Plassey is popularly called the first political victory of the English East India Company in India. It gave the company the power to carry out duty-free trade in Bengal and continue the fortification of British settlements in Bengal. बच्चों जो Battle of Plassey था वो काफ़ी पॉपुलर हुआ जिसे फर्स्ट पॉलिटिकल विक्ट्री कहा जाने लगा था इंग्लिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी का. उसने वहाँ पर अपना आधिपत्य जमाया और फोर्टिफिकेशन भी दिए बिना ही बंगाल पर अपना राज करने लगा. For the first time, a trading company got the power to intervene in Indian political affairs. Now, the English East India Company could set up their own puppet नवाब्स in Bengal. पहली बार ऐसा हुआ था कि किसी कंपनी ने बंगाल पर अपना आधिपत्य जमा लिया था, यानी पॉलिटिकल पावर्स में, इंडियन पॉलिटिकल पावर में उसने इंटरवीन करना शुरू कर दिया था. Siraj ud Daulah was replaced by Mir Zafar. In return, Mir Zafar rewarded the English East India Company. English company with a large sum of money, the zamindari right to collect revenue of 24 parganas and right to free trade. Till now, the company had to exchange its gold for purchasing Indian goods. The Battle of Plassey gave Diwani or the right of tax collection of the company. The vast revenue resources could be now used to purchase cotton silk textiles in India, maintain company troops and meet the cost of building the company fort and offices at Calcutta. Thus, through the Battle of Plassey, the company acquired more powerful authority. It paved the way for the establishment of British rule in Bengal and eventually the rest of India. It also exposed the weakness of the Indian political system. इसने Indian political system में जो weakness थी उसको भी expose किया. In 1772, the system of dual government in Bengal was introduced by Robert Clive. The victory over Bengal brought monetary benefits to Clive also. He amassed a lot of wealth in India. The corruption in the company that was already on an increase continued under his tenure as a governor. Later on, the British found Clive so guilty of corruption that he was asked to come back to London, where the British Parliament impeached him in 1772. Though he was acquitted, Robert Clive attempted suicide in 1774. बच्चों, जब बंगाल की विक्ट्री हुई तो जो रॉबर्ट क्लाइव थे वहां पर उन्होंने क्या करना शुरू कर दिया, वहां पर उन्होंने काफ़ी धांधली करनी शुरू कर दी. और जब ये बात ब्रिटिशर्स को पता चली तो उन्होंने वापस उसे 1772 में लंदन बुला लिया और ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट ने उसे इम्पीच्ड किया 1772 में. और इसके बाद रॉबर्ट क्लाइव ने 1774 में सुसाइड कर लिया था. रिसर्च जंक्शन. Why did the English East India Company feel it necessary to control the political power in India? बच्चों, इंडियन पॉलिटिकल पावर जो था इंडिया का, इंग्लिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी को क्यों ऐसा ज़रूरी लगा कि वो उसे ओवर पावर कर सके? इसकी प्रैक्टिस खुद से कीजिएगा. नॉलेज जंक्शन. बिटवीन 1880 to 1920, ब्रिटिश colonial policies in India claimed more lives than all feminines in the Soviet Union, moist China and North Korea combined. Grasp and gain. The 1861 census revealed that the English population in India was 125,945. Of these, only about 41,862 were civilians, as compared with about 84,083 European officers and men of the army. Battle of Buxar. The Battle of Buxar was fought in 1764 between the English East India Company on one and an alliance of Mir Qasim, ruler of Bengal, Shuja ud Daulah, Nawab of Awadh, and Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. बच्चों, बैटल ऑफ बक्सर जो लड़ा गया था वो 1764 में लड़ा गया था, जो कि ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी और मुगल एम्पीरियर्स के बीच में था. द बैटल हैपेंड फॉलोइंग अ chain of events. First, Mir Zafar, the new Nawab of Bengal, was unable to meet the demands of the British. As a result, in 1760, the company disposed Mir Zafar and made his son-in-law Mir Qasim the Nawab of Bengal. In return, Mir Qasim gave the company the zamindari of Burdwan, Bardamaman, मिंडनापौर, मेदिनीपुर एंड चिंतागौर. बच्चों, क्या हुआ था? मीर जफर जो थे वो पहले न्यू नवाब बने थे बंगाल के. जब उन्होंने ब्रिटिश के डिमांड को फुलफिल करने से मना कर दिया तो उसके बाद 1760 में जंग लड़ी गई और मीर जफर को हराकर उसके ही जो सन इन लॉ था मीर कासिम, उसको बंगाल का नया नवाब माना जाने लगा. और इसके बदले में जो मीर कासिम था उसने कंपनी को जमींदारी देना शुरू कर दिया था. इवेंचुअली मीर कासिम ऑल्सो वांटेड टू एंड द कंपनीज डोमिनेशन एंड assert his authority. He denied the British undue trade privileges, as the Indian traders also did not have any. However, this was not acceptable to the company, so the company declared war on Mir Qasim and defeated him in 1763. Mir Zafar was again made the Nawab of Bengal. Mir Qasim fled to Awadh and entered into an alliance with Nawab Shuja ud Daulah of Awadh and the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II, who had fled from India and was then living in Awadh. कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज ऑफ द बैटल ऑफ बक्सर, बैटल ऑफ बक्सर के कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज क्या हुए जब ये लड़ाई लड़ी गई उसके बाद। द बैटल ऑफ बक्सर मेड द ब्रिटिश सुप्रीम इन बंगाल एंड गिव द अथॉरिटी टू इंटरवीन इन द पॉलिटिकल मैटर्स ऑफ अवध एंड द मुगल्स। बैटल ऑफ बक्सर जब हुआ उसके बाद ब्रिटिश सुप्रीम जो था बंगाल के, उन्हें अथॉरिटी मिल गई कि वो इंटरवीन कर सके पॉलिटिकल मैटर्स में अवध और मुगल्स के। आफ्टर मीर जफर's death in 1765, the new Nawab of Bengal, Shuja-ud-Dullah, signed a treaty with Clive, which was called the Treaty of Allahabad. The treaty transferred powers of military and criminal jurisdiction of the company. Awadh was returned to Shuja-ud-Dullah and it became a buffer state neutral zone which would protect Bengal from the direct impact of an invasion from the northeast. Kora and Allahabad were taken away and given to Shah Alam II. Shah Alam II was also given an annual pension of 26 lakh rupees. In return, the emperor granted the company the Diwani or the right to tax collection of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha on a permanent basis. शाह आलम II began to live in Allahabad under the company's protection. कंपनी के प्रोटेक्शन में शाह आलम II ने रहना शुरू कर दिया था इलाहाबाद में. The Nawab of Awadh had to disband most of his army and transfer the Nizamat powers to a deputy Nawab appointed by the British. The Nawab also agreed to pay for the maintenance of the company's troops in Awadh for protection against invasions. The British defeated the combined forces at Buxar in 1764. System of dual government. In the dual government, the company enjoyed real powers, but it could not be held responsible as Nawab was the titular ruler. This burdened the Nawab with the responsibility of administration without the resources. As the Nawab was just a puppet ruler of the company, the administrator and इकोनॉमी ऑफ बंगाल सफर्ड एंड द सिस्टम ऑफ ड्यूअल गवर्नमेंट कोलैप्स्ड। बच्चों, क्योंकि नवाब जो थे वहाँ के वो केवल पपेट बन के रह गए थे इंग्लिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी के, इसलिए एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को बंगाल के इकोनॉमी को काफ़ी सफ़र करना पड़ा था। एज अ रिजल्ट इन 1772 द कोर्ट of directors of English East India Company appointed Warren Hastings as the governor of Bengal। और इसी का रिजल्ट था कि 1772 में जो कोर्ट ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स ऑफ इंग्लिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी थे, उन्होंने नया गवर्नर ऑफ बंगाल अपॉइंट किया था। किन्हें? वॉरेन हेस्टिंग्स को। By the Regulating Act of 1773, Warren Hastings was made the Governor General of British Territories in India with Calcutta as the headquarters. The Regulating Act made the Governor General the most important post of the company. He remained the post from 1773 to 1785. Warren Hastings disposed and banished of the Nawab of Bengal and brought Bengal under the direct control of the company. Setting up a new administration. From 1772, a new system of justice was established wherein each district was to have two courts, a criminal court, फौजदारी अदालत एंड अ सिविल कोर्ट, दीवानी अदालत। 1772 में एक नया सिस्टम लागू किया गया, जस्टिस का इस्टेब्लिश किया गया, जिसमें दो कोर्ट्स लगाए गए, जो कि क्रिमिनल कोर्ट जिसे फौजदारी अदालत कहा जाता था और दूसरा था सिविल कोर्ट जिसे दीवानी अदालत कहा जाता था। European district collectors preside over civil courts. The criminal courts was still under a qazi and a mufti but under the supervision of the collector. बच्चों, जो क्रिमिनल कोर्ट था वो अभी भी काजी और मुफ्ती के अंदर ही था, लेकिन ये कलेक्टर के सुपरविजन में काम करता था। Under the Regulating Act of 1773, a new Supreme Court was established. एक नया सुप्रीम कोर्ट स्टैब्लिश किया गया 1773 में। The collector became the new center of power, collected revenue and taxes and maintained law and order in his district. The collector was to be helped by the judge, police officers and darogas. The company appointed resident officers in India states whose job was to serve and further the interest of the company. Expansion of company's political power. By 1856, the English East India Company had brought the whole of India under the control of the British. The British had eliminated all their rivals and established themselves as the paramount power in India. This became possible mainly due to the British policies of annexation. However, the lack of unity among Indian rulers, inefficient administration in India, states, superior military resources and naval supremacy of the company made it easy for the company. अब आते हैं ब्रिटिश पॉलिसीज ऑफ एनेक्सेशन पर। द पॉलिसी ऑफ पैरामाउंटेंसी। वॉरेन हेस्टिंग्स, द फर्स्ट गवर्नर जनरल 1813 to 1823, initiated the policy of paramountcy. The British made false claims that the company's authority was paramount or supreme than that of Indian states. On this ground, in order to protect its interest, it was justified in annexing or threatening to annex any Indian kingdom. Expansion of company's political power. By 1856, the English East India Company had brought the whole of India under the control of the British. The British had eliminated all their rivals and established themselves as the paramount power in India. This became possible mainly due to the British policies of annexation. However, the lack of unity among Indian rulers, inefficient administration in India's states, superior military resources and naval supremacy of the company made it easy for the company. बच्चों, जो इंडियन रूलर्स में जो कमी थी, इनएफिशिएंट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन था इंडियन स्टेट्स का, सुपीरियर मिलिट्री रिसोर्सेज जो थे या नेवल सुप्रीमेसी जो थी, जो कंपनी द्वारा बनाई गई थी, वो काफ़ी कमज़ोर थी, जिसका फ़ायदा उठाया था इंग्लिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी ने. ब्रिटिश पॉलिसीज ऑफ एनेक्सेशन. The policy of paramountcy. Warren Hastings, the first Governor General, 1813 to 1823, initiated the policy of paramountcy. The British made false claims that the company's authority was paramount or supreme that of Indian states. On this ground, in order to protect its interests, it was justified in annexing or threatening to annex any Indian kingdom. Afghanistan, Sindh and Punjab were annexed through the policy. Subsidiary alliance. Governor General Lord Wellesley introduced the system to subjugate Indian rulers without the cost and botheration of a war. This was also meant to remove all the traces of French influence under this. The Indian rulers were encouraged to sign a treaty with the British, who promised to protect the ruler from external attacks and internal revolts. This treaty was called Subsidiary Alliance. The terms of the treaty said that in return for British protection under the Subsidiary Alliance, the British troops were to be permanently placed in the territory of the subsidiary state, and the ruler was to pay for the maintenance of the troops. The ruler who signed the alliance had to expel all non-English foreigners from his state and his service, and could not dismiss the already existing English officers. It allowed the British to supervise the ruler's relations with other Indian states. बच्चों, ये अलाउ था कि ब्रिटिशर्स जो थे, उनका जो सुपरविजन था, वो इंडिया के स्टेट्स में रहने वाले रूलर्स के साथ में उनका रिलेशंस ये वो लोग रख सकते थे. द रूलर कुड नॉट साइन एनी अलायंस और डिक्लेयर वॉर अगेंस्ट एनी अदर रूलर ऑन हिज ओन विदाउट द परमिशन ऑफ द ब्रिटिश. बिना परमिशन, ब्रिटिश के परमिशन की कोई भी रूलर कोई भी अलायंस को साइन नहीं कर सकता था, कोई भी वॉर किसी के खिलाफ वो डिक्लेयर नहीं कर सकता था. द ट्रीटी प्रूव्ड हार्मफुल फॉर द इंडियन स्टेट्स एट इट मेड द इंडियन रूलर्स कॉम्प्लिसेंट एंड अनकंसर्न्ड अबाउट द अफेयर्स ऑफ द स्टेट. The payment of annual subsidies to the company exhausted the state treasury. They imposed heavy taxes on the people to meet the cost of maintaining British troops. A British resident was stationed in the court permanently, who kept a close watch on the state's internal affairs and informed the British of the actions of the ruler. The ruler was no longer free to take decision in his own kingdom. They lost their sovereignty. जो rulers थे उनके पास में खुद का कोई भी ऐसा पावर नहीं था कि वो अपने समाज के लिए या अपने स्टेट के लिए कोई भी रूल को कर सके, पास कर सके, कोई लॉ बना सके, बल्कि ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी जो थी ये उनके ऊपर डिपेंड था. The treaty made the rulers dependent on the British for their security, and when the administration of a subsidiary state collapsed, the British annexed the kingdom on grounds of misgovernment. The treaty made the rulers dependent on the British for their security, and when the administration of a subsidiary state collapsed, the British annexed the kingdom on grounds of misgovernment. In 1802, Peshwa Bajirao II, supported by the Sindhyas, was defeated by the Holkars. Bajirao fled from Pune and signed an alliance with the British for British protection and support, following which he returned to Pune escorted by British soldiers. बच्चों, 1802 में पेशवा बाजीराव II जो थे वो सपोर्ट करते थे सिंधियास को, जिन्हें डिफीट किया गया था हॉलकर्स के द्वारा. Awadh also signed the treaty, and in 1856, when the administration was on the verge of collapse, it was annexed on the charges of misgovernment or maladministration. Doctrine of lapse. Lord Dalhousie became the Governor General in 1848. He was a great expansionist and adopted a number of methods to build an all India empire. He annexed Sambalpur in 1852, Nagpur 1856, Udaipur 1852, Satara 1848, Awadh 1856 and Jhansi 1854. Though his policy of doctrine of lapse, according to the doctrine of lapse or subordinate states, subsidiary states and states created by the British where the rulers died without a natural male heir would automatically lapse or pass into the hands of the British East India Company. The policy further said that the rulers who did not have their natural heirs could not adopt sons without the permission of the company. ये पॉलिसी ये बताता था कि अगर किसी भी रूलर यानी राजा के पास में उसका खुद का बेटा नहीं है तो वो किसी को भी अडॉप्ट नहीं कर सकता है बिना कंपनी के परमिशन के. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दिस पॉलिसी द ब्रिटिश डिड नॉट रिकॉग्नाइज नाना साहेब, द अडॉप्टेड सन ऑफ पेशवा बाजीराव टू, एज द सक्सेसर टू द थ्रोन. When Nana Sahib inherited his father's personal property, the British refused to pay him the pension that had been paid to his father. बच्चों, इसी पॉलिसी पर जो आधारित था ब्रिटिश ने नाना साहेब जो कि अडॉप्टेड चाइल्ड थे पेशवा बाजीराव टू के, उनको कंसीडर नहीं किया उनके थ्रोन के रूप में यानी उनके वारिस के रूप में. हालांकि जब नाना साहेब ने अपने फादर की प्रॉपर्टी को इनहेरिट कर लिया तब भी ब्रिटिशर्स ने उन्हें पेंशन देने से मना कर दिया था. द स्टेट्स एनेक्स थ्रू द डॉक्ट्राइन वर अवध, सतारा, झांसी एक्सेट्रा. द ब्रिटिश पॉलिसी ऑफ डायरेक्ट कॉन्क्वेस्ट. Due to British conquest in 1773, the company had direct control over Bengal, Madras and Bombay and indirect control over Awadh and the Carnatic. However, in the Deccan, the Marathas, the Nizam of Hyderabad and Hyder Ali of Mysore were the three major threats as strong native powers. The company used its policy of paramountcy to directly annex other states. This includes Mysore, the Maratha kingdom and the states of Afghanistan, Punjab, Sindh, Burma and Nepal. After a prolonged war with Afghanistan between 1838 and 1842, the company established indirect company rule there. Sindh was annexed in 1843. Anglo-Mysore Wars. Hyder Ali expanded the Mysore kingdom to a great extent. Mysore also competed with the company for control over the trade along the Malabar coast. In an attempt to crush Mysore, the company attacked Mysore in 1767. This was the first Anglo-Mysore war. Hyder Ali won the war in 1769. In return, the company promised to help Mysore if the Marathas attacked it. बच्चों, हैदर अली जो थे उन्होंने अपना जो किंगडम था वो एक्सपेंड किया, मैसूर किंगडम को काफ़ी एक्सटेंड किया. मैसूर को भी कंप्लीट किया गया था कंपनी के द्वारा, ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी के द्वारा, और यहाँ पर भी ट्रेड होता था मालाबार कोस्ट में. बच्चों, ये फर्स्ट एंग्लो मैसूर वॉर जो हुआ था जिसमें हैदर अली जीते थे इस वॉर में 1769 में, और इन रिटर्न में कंपनी ने प्रॉमिस किया था कि मैसूर पर जब भी मराठास अटैक करेंगे तो वो हेल्प करेगा हैदर अली की. हावेवर इन 1771 व्हेन द मराठास इन्वेडेड मैसूर द ब्रिटिश फेल टू कीप देयर प्रॉमिस. हालांकि जब 1771 में मराठास ने मैसूर पर कब्जा किया या वॉर किया उस पर कब्जा करने के लिए, तो ब्रिटिशर्स ने अपना प्रॉमिस नहीं निभाया. This angered Hyder Ali. On the other hand, Hyder Ali's friendly relation with the French angered the British. The British occupation of the port of Mahe, which was Mysore's only outlet to European trade, led to the Second Mysore War, 1779 to 1784. In this war, Hyder Ali died in 1782. While fighting, his son Tipu Sultan continued the war but had to make peace in 1784. In 1785, Mysore stopped the export of sandalwood, pepper and cardamom through its ports. It also disallowed local merchants from trading with the company. This angered the company very much. The Third Mysore War 1790 to 1792 happened when Tipu Sultan attacked Travancore, the only source of pepper for the British. बच्चों, थर्ड मैसूर वर्ल्ड वॉर हुआ था 1790 से लेकर 1792 के में, जब टीपू सुल्तान ने ट्रावेनकोर पर अटैक कर दिया था, जहां पर ब्रिटिशर्स के लिए पेपर के लिए एक इकलौता सोर्स था. द ब्रिटिश इन अलायंस विद द निजाम एंड द मराठास डिफीटेड टीपू सुल्तान. गवर्नर जनरल लॉर्ड वेलेस्ली introduced the subsidiary alliance in 1798. The Nizam accepted subsidiary alliance, but Tipu Sultan's refusal to accept the subsidiary alliance led to the Fourth Mysore War in 1799. It was fought between the British assisted by the Nizam and Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan died fighting in 1799. The British annexed large parts of Mysore, some of which was given to the Nizam, and the remaining territories of Mysore were restored to an heir of the loyal family that resigned before Hyder Ali. The new ruler accepted the subsidiary alliance. Anglo-Marathas War. Marathas rise to power. The Marathas became a strong political group under Shivaji and put up a strong resistance against the Mughal expansion in the Deccan. However, Shivaji died in 1680 and in 1689 the Mughals under Aurangzeb defeated and killed Shivaji's son Shambaji. They also captured Shambaji's infant son Shahu Shivaji too. बच्चों मराठास जब पॉलिटिकली काफ़ी स्ट्रॉन्ग हो गए थे तो शिवाजी ने एक स्ट्रॉन्ग रेजिस्टेंस लिया था मुगल एक्सपेंशन के लिए डेक्कन में। हालांकि शिवाजी 1688 में मर चुके थे और 1689 में मुगल्स ने औरंगजेब में जाकर औरंगजेब के अंडर शिवाजी के बेटे शांबाजी को भी मार गिराया था। When Shambaji's brother Raja Ram, who died in Satara war in 1700, Raja Ram's widow Tarabai ruled the Marathas from Kolhapur on behalf of her minor son Shivaji III. After the death of Aurangzeb in 1707, the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah I, who succeeded the Mughal throne, released Shahu. This resulted in a civil war over the Marathas throne between Shahu and Shivaji III. Shahu took the help of Balaji Vishwanath, a revenue officer, and established his capital at Satara. He made Balaji Vishwanath his Peshwa or chief minister. Balaji Vishwanath got the Mughal emperor to recognize Shahu as the rightful ruler of the Marathas. In return, the Mughals were promised a tribute and military support in the Deccan. Shivaji III established his capital at Kolhapur. Constant warfare between Satara and Kolhapur kept Shahu so busy that eventually the Peshwa became the real ruler of the Marathas. Shivaji III जब establish हुए थे, उनका जो कैपिटल था वो कोल्हापुर हुआ था. Balaji Vishwanath gave the responsibility of tax collection of chiefs, divided the Marathas territories among them. The chiefs were also allowed to keep a part of the collection to meet their expenses. This made them powerful and ambitious. Baji Rao I succeeded his father Balaji Vishwanath in 1720 and the Maratha kingdom expanded under him. Through a treaty, he also made peace between the Marathas of Satara and those of Kolhapur. However, this expansion was mainly carried out by the personal armies of the Maratha chiefs and not by the Peshwa's troops. By 1737, Maratha influence extended over Malwa, Gujarat, Bundelkhand and the outskirts of the Delhi. Some of the chiefs like Sindhia in Gwalior, Bhosle in Nagpur, Gaikwad in Baroda and Holkar in Indore became almost independent of the Peshwa's control. In 1740, Baji Rao I was succeeded by his son बालाजी बाजीराव नाना साहेब. 1740 में बाजी राव को सक्सेशन मिला था, सक्सीड हुए थे वो अपने सन के द्वारा जो कि थे बालाजी बाजी राव नाना साहेब. After Shahu's death in 1749, the Peshwa shifted the Maratha capital to Pune while Shahu's successor remained at Satara. Under Balaji Baji Rao, the Marathas established their influence over the Carnatic and Bundelkhand, attacked many territories of the Jats, the Rohillas and the Nawab of Awadh, forcing them to pay tribute. They won many territories from the Nizam of Hyderabad and rulers of Mysore. In 1751, the Marathas forced the Nawab of Bengal to cede Orissa and pay tribute. In 1757, the Marathas helped the Mughal emperor by removing the agent posted in Delhi by Ahmad Shah Abdali. In 1758, they took Sirhind and Lahore from the Afghans. The Afghans under Ahmad Shah Abdali attacked the Marathas in Panipat 1761. This is called the Third Battle of Panipat, in which Ahmad Shah Abdali defeated the Marathas. बच्चों 1761 में ये थर्ड बैटल ऑफ हुआ था पानीपत में, जहां पर अहमद शाह अब्दाली को डिफीट मिली थी मराठास के थ्रू. द मराठास लॉस्ट मेनी ऑफ देयर ब्रिलियंट लीडर्स एंड सोल्जर्स इन दिस बैटल. मराठास को अपने कई सारे ब्रिलियंट और जो सोल्जर्स थे, जो लीडर्स थे, उन्हें इस बैटल में खोना पड़ा, इस वॉर में खोना पड़ा. ड्यू टू द शॉक ऑफ डिफीट बाजी राव डाइड इन द सेम ईयर. और इस बात का ऐसा सदमा बाजी राव को लगा था कि वो उसी साल उनका देहांत हो गया था. Marathas failure and decline. The Marathas did not maintain friendly relationships with the local powers. They rather made the local powers their enemies by raiding their territories. They also made no effort to win over their loyalty. बच्चों Marathas अपना friendly relationships अपने जो locals में थे वहाँ पर नहीं बना पा रहे थे. The Marathas army was short of supplies on the eve of the war. The Marathas also made the mistake of not adopting modern military techniques and weapons. Besides, they were weakened by infighting among their chiefs. The failure of the Marathas to become an all-India power allowed the English East India Company to become a strong political force in India. In the 1770s, the Marathas re-emerged as one of the constant for political supremacy in North India. However, after Madhav Rao won, the Peshwa power declined and an intense power struggle began among the Marathas chiefs. Taking advantage of the situation, the British interfered in the internal affairs of the Marathas. This led to 3 Anglo-Maratha war. इस बात का एडवांटेज लेकर जो ब्रिटिशर्स थे उन्होंने इंटरनल अफेयर्स जो मराठास के थे उनमें अपना हस्तक्षेप करना शुरू कर दिया और इसी की शुरुआत हुई थी थर्ड एंग्लो मराठा वॉर की. द फर्स्ट मराठा वॉर 1775 to 1782 वॉज अ फेलर था फर्स्ट मराठा वॉर. इट एंडेड इन 1782 विद द ट्रीटी ऑफ सालबाई. देयर वॉज नो क्लियर विक्टर. In the second Maratha War 1803 to 1806, the British succeed in weakening the Maratha chiefs. The British signed separate treaties with each of the chiefs to break their unity. The third Maratha War 1817 to 1818 broke out when Peshwa Bajirao II tried to organize the Maratha chiefs against the British. In this war, Bajirao was defeated and removed from his post. He was sent to Bithur near Kanpur and the office of Peshwa was abolished. The British carved out the state of Satara from Baji Rao's territories and placed a descendant of Shivaji on the throne. The Maratha chiefs were forced to sign the subsidiary alliance and give away their district north and south of the Narmada river. अब आते हैं बच्चों एंग्लो गुरखा वॉर्स पर. नेपाल was the land of the Gurkhas. When the British won the territories east of the Satluj, the Gurkhas began to encroach upon British territories in India. This resulted in the Anglo-Gurkha War 1814 to 1816. 1814 से 1816 के बीच में एंग्लो गुरखा वॉर की शुरुआत हुई थी. जो नेपाल था वो लैंड था गुरखास का. In the war, the Gurkhas were defeated and were forced to cede the provinces of Garhwal and Kumaon, including Almora, Nainital, Mussoorie, and Shimla to the British. They also withdrew from Sikkim and accepted a British resident at the Nepalese capital, Kathmandu. Annexation of Burma, yani Myanmar. As the British expanded their territories beyond India's eastern border, they clashed with neighboring Burma. To get British control over Assam and parts of the Burmese coast, the British fought the First Burmese War 1824 to 1826. It gave the British free trading rights in Burma. Governor General Lord Dalhousie annexed Lower Burma after the Second Burmese War, that is 1852. To remove French influence from Burma, the British annexed Upper Burma in the Third Burmese War 1885 to 1886. The British established complete control over the Bay of Bengal through 3 Anglo-Burmese War. तीसरा एंग्लो बर्मीज वॉर जो हुआ था तो ब्रिटिशर्स ने अपना पूरा का पूरा आधिपत्य बे ऑफ बंगाल पर जमा लिया था. एनेक्सेशन ऑफ पंजाब. द प्रेजेंस ऑफ महाराजा रंजीत सिंह इन पंजाब हेल्ड द कंपनी बैक, but after his death in 1839 two prolonged wars were fought and Punjab were annexed in 1849. बच्चों महाराजा रंजीत सिंह के होते हुए तो पंजाब पर जो कंपनी है वो अपना आधिपत्य नहीं जमा पाई, लेकिन 1839 में उनकी मृत्यु के बाद में कंपनी ने अपना पूरा आधिपत्य पंजाब पर जमा लिया और 1849 में पंजाब को एनेक्स कर लिया. द सिक्स हैड अर्लियर साइंड द ट्रीटी ऑफ अमृतसर विच केप्ट द सिक्स एंड द ब्रिटिश कन्फाइंड टू देयर रिस्पेक्टिव साइड्स ऑफ द सतलुज. However, with the British annexation of Sindh, the Sikh army also crossed the Satluj. This led to the first Anglo-Sikh War, that is कब हुआ था 1845 से लेकर 1846 में. The Sikhs were defeated and forced to cede all their territories south of the Satluj as well as the Jalandhar Doab, the land between the rivers Satluj and Beas. The Sikh also had to pay a huge war indemnity to the British and cede Kashmir, which the British sold to Raja Gulab Singh of Jammu. The British placed the Sikh ruler under the company's protection and posted a resident and a British force at Lahore. This eventually resulted in the Second Anglo-Sikh War 1848 and to 1849. The Sikhs were again defeated and Lord Dalhousie annexed Punjab in 1849. बच्चों जो दूसरा एंग्लो सिख वॉर हुआ था वो 1848 से 1849 में हुआ था और सिख जो थे उन्हें हार का सामना करना पड़ा और लॉर्ड डलहौजी द्वारा पंजाब को 1849 में एनेक्स कर लिया गया था. अब आते हैं टर्म्स टू लर्न पर. कार्नेटिक वॉर्स, मिड 18th century conflicts in South India, British versus French. Indian alliance opposed Mughals and British. Doctrine of lapse. British policy annexing states without direct hires. Permanency. British policy claiming supremacy over Indian states. Dual government system with British holding real power, local Nawab as figurehead. Battle of Plassey, 1757 battle establishing British power in Bengal. East India Company, British trading body, key in colonial rule in India. Pondicherry, main French settlement in India. Carnatic Wars, focal point. Fort William, British military based and administrative center in Calcutta. Regulating Act of 1773, British law reforming East India Company's governance. उसके बाद आता है फोर्ट स्टीफन जॉर्ज, फर्स्ट ब्रिटिश फोर्ट्रेस इन इंडिया established in Madras. Subsidiary alliance, system making Indian states dependent on British protection. Madras, early British settlement became major administrative center. Treaty of Allahabad, 1765 treaty formalized British revenue rights in India. Maratha Confederacy, powerful 18th century religion. Zamindari, land revenue system using intermediaries to collect rents. अब आते हैं लेट्स recapitulate पर. Vasco da Gama's discovery of the sea route to India opened lucrative trade opportunities for European powers, leading to intense competition and the establishment of colonial outposts. European nations including Portugal, the Netherlands, Britain and France, driven by the desire for species and other goods, began to forge extensive trade networks within India. The establishment of the British, Dutch and French East India Companies marked the beginning of structured European involvement and competition in India commerce and politics. By the 18th century, the European presence in India was characterized by a scramble for territorial and commercial supremacy, leading to a series of conflicts and alliances with local rulers. The British East India Company emerged as a dominant force, exploiting India's vast resources and manipulating political scenarios to its advantage. Key battles such as the Battle of Plassey 1757 and the Battle of Buxar 1764 significantly increased British influence and marked the decline of native Indian powers. The Treaty of Paris in 1763, restoring French territories, failed to stem British ascendancy, setting the stage for further expansion and control. The British implementation of the doctrine of lapse and the subsidiary alliance were strategic policies that systematically integrated Indian states into the British Empire. The introduction of the dual government system in Bengal under the British administration exemplified the exploitative and extractive colonial policies that prioritized British economy interest over Indian welfare. Frequent conflicts and strategic alliances among Indian states such as the Marathas, Sikhs and the later the Gurkhas were exploited by the British to consolidate their control. फिर आता है the residents from local powers like the Marathas, Mysore and the Sikhs provided significant challenges to British expansion but ultimately did not halt their growing dominance. By the mid-19th century, the British East India Company had evolved from a commercial entity into a powerful colonial authority, setting the foundation for the British Raj and reshaping Indian society and governance. बच्चों अब आ जाते हैं असेसमेंट जंक्शन पर. बच्चों आई होप आज की क्लास में हमने जो भी पढ़ा आपको अच्छे से समझ में आ गया होगा. अब आप इसकी एक्सरसाइज की प्रैक्टिस खुद से कीजिएगा.